Foreplay, presented by Barstool Sports. We are back. It is Tuesday, February 23rd, 2021. One of the good guys, one of the people's golfers, one of the handful of folks on the PGA Tour who has done an excellent job in this day and age of showcasing that he's a truly normal, average person when it comes to personality, friendships, mingling with people, utilizing social media. Max Homa wins on the PGA Tour, which was probably outside of a major championship or maybe making the winning cut at a Ryder Cup. Very clear that it was the biggest thing that could have possibly happened in his career. Max has been on this show before, maybe multiple times. He interacts and chirps us on Twitter all the time. He's been on with the Part of My Take guys. He's done podcasts, and he has tweeted nonstop pretty much for the last 5-6 years. Got a huge win. We're going to get into that. Tiger Woods made an appearance. Don't think we loved it. We're going to get into that. It is myself, Frankie, and Trent. Lurch, unfortunately, has a real-life job today that he cannot make it, but hopefully he'll be back on Thursday. We have a bunch of interviews coming. I believe in typical Foreplay fashion, they're all just going to be stacked into the next show or two, and we're not going to have any of them for this show, which is good because we got a lot to break down and get into. Gentlemen, hello. How are we?
I'm doing well. I feel good. I'm very excited to talk about what happened at Riviera yesterday. And you're right. I think Max Homa said that this was the biggest thing he could ever do in his career. Even majors aside, Ryder Cups aside, he obviously grew up. We'll talk all about it. But it's exciting to talk about a guy like Max Homa. Obviously, we're going to talk about Tony Finau as well. And yeah, I got some things that we need to discuss when it comes to Tiger Woods and the interview that he gave yesterday. So I'm very excited to get into all that.
I'm doing well. It was a lot of fun watching golf. It's been a couple good weeks here, a couple good weekends here for golf. I mean, without Tiger Woods in the mix, it's kind of crazy that we have, and I know I said crazy again. I'm trying to limit the word crazy. I mean, I get a million tweets about it every single time, but that's just a word I use.
You're trying to improve your craft.
Yeah, so I want the listeners to know that I'm actively thinking about how often I say the word crazy, and it is crazy how often I say the word crazy. But it was a lot of fun with, you have guys like Max Homa and Tony Finau. The fact that we have this many characters in golf and people that we care about that want to win. When I was growing up, it was Tiger Woods. Even a couple of years ago, it was just Tiger Woods. I didn't care about any other person in the world. And now I'm legitimately on the edge of my seat to see if Tony Finau wins a golf tournament, or if Max Homa wins a golf tournament, or Jordan Spieth can make a cut and make a run. So golf's in a really good spot, and it's showing big time in 2021 with no fans. It's been a lot of intense coming down to the stretch, final hole, chip-ins, long putts. It's really, really good golf recently.
Yeah, I agree. I would have never guessed, or at least it would have been hard for me to believe that we would be at a point where Tiger Woods is a complete non-factor right now for the last 6 months, even really a year and a half, just hasn't really been there. Yet the golf has been phenomenal. And there were moments yesterday where I thought, whatever you might claim the reason is or how we got to this point, but there were a handful of guys who, when they would show them, I would have genuine concern if it went poorly, or I would have very genuine excitement if it went well for them. Like Matthew Fitzpatrick was another one where he's up there, and we've had him on a bunch. He's interacted with us a bunch. He's shown a really cool side of his personality. He's up there and in the mix and has a chance to win the tournament. Max Homa and his storyline and him being the Twitter roast guy, he's right there. Tony Finau, and the fact that we've been talking about him for years now. And it feels like 3 years ago, we started making the jokes about runner up again. One of these days he's going to win soon. And it's been 3 years. And yet he, again, missed a putt. That was the final clip of a tournament and ultimately gave somebody else the win. So there's all of these storylines going on. And that's not even talking about the real star outside of Max from this past week, which was Riviera. I mean, Riviera gets rave reviews every year from the players. This year, maybe more so than ever. I heard there's this movement coming that everybody wants it to host a major championship again. I think it was like the 1945 U.S. Open's the only major that place has ever held, which is, not to steal Frankie's word, but that's crazy. There was a wind delay, the first wind delay since British Open a while ago, I think at St. Andrews, where it was just too windy for golf, which is, I mean, I didn't hear him saying that when I was in Bermuda shooting fucking 105, but too windy for them to play golf, which had all kinds of people in an uproar, especially when we're the type of community and type of golf fans that love carnage. And now you're telling me conditions are perfect. Greens are firm, fast, and it's windy as hell. We're going to see people shooting 82 out there. This is going to be great. And they just stopped play. That had people going nuts. So there's a ton to get to, boys. It's exciting to have a lot to talk about. And no offense to Tiger, but when it's not all about one guy, it is very exciting.
Agreed.
Tiger did steal the show a little bit on Sunday.
Well, it's his turn. Of course he did.
Yeah. It was a stunning segment by Eldrick.
Okay. Owens mixers. Before we are going to get to Eldrick, there's just a lot. There's a lot to break down, and I'm pumped about it. I know whenever Trent comes with like, I have some things to say, it's going to get fun. Owens mixers also gets fun. The transfusion, the mint cucumber and lime. You make a little Paloma with the grapefruit and lime. They've done a great job. They've revamped. They've reinvented the mixer game. They've made it cool, and they've made them delicious, and they've made them and catered them towards things that folks like us very much like to drink. Trust me, you're going to like them. You go to Amazon and get them shipped right to you. You can go to their website. You can go to their store locator, owensmixers.com. Check out where you can get the transfusion. It's great for the golf course. I know, yes, temperatures have been cold. It's only going to get better from here on out. March, April, we start to get closer to the Masters. Next thing you know, it's mid-spring. Then you got all the summer. Transfusion's a great drink anytime, but especially when it comes to playing golf, good weather. So get involved with the transfusion. Big thanks to Owens Mixers for their support over the years. Okay. Let's start with Max Homa. So, he had last year, I believe he finished top 5. And the story goes, as we've all heard at this point, but he's a local kid. He's an LA guy. He wears a Dodgers hat every time I've ever seen him off camera, or Lakers jersey. So he's as LA as it gets. He's a huge sports fan. Again, that's why he's on with Pardon My Take all the time. He loves sports and he loves LA. He, since he was, I believe, 2 years old is the number, has been going to this tournament, the LA Open, the Genesis, whatever it's transformed into name-wise, going to this golf course, going to this tournament. It was his favorite thing. It was what he requested from his parents, from his dad, to take him down there, drive him the half hour or so from their home to this tournament. One of his, I think his first tweet when he finished was that, like, I spent over a dozen years trying to just get a high five from Tiger at this golf course, and today he just handed me a trophy. When he finished in the top 5 last year, he spoke afterwards about how, like, his brain was scrambled eggs. He couldn't even think because there was so much going on, so much emotion, so much action, trying to play good golf. He was proud of the way that he finished, but like just wanted to get back there again in his career and have a chance to win. Yesterday, I don't exactly know where to start, but all of the drama from him playing a seemingly flawless couple rounds really of golf, making no bogeys yesterday. And I think in the third round, it was well in the third round where he didn't make any bogeys coming in. And then seems like he can't miss on 17. He hits a great bunker shot, makes like the 6 or 8 foot little slider to get tied for the lead, and then hits a great drive and an absolute dart into the 72nd hole, 3 feet below the hole. The thing's over. They got the camera on Tony Finau, so they've got like devastation cam that's showing Max Homa, and you're like, this is perfect. And then he fucking misses. So all of that before we get into the playoff, it was just as exciting of a conclusion for Max as you could have. And then you had the missed putt, and emotions were wild.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that make Max Homa relatable. We talk about those things all the time. But there were 2 things in the post-round interview that really made it that way. And the one was, you're not supposed to miss a 3.5-foot putt in front of Tiger Woods. Like, he's like, I was shaking like a leaf. I was incredibly nervous. It's 3 feet. I think somebody pulled up the stat. He was within 3 feet or inside 3 feet. He was 99.57% leading up to that point. And it lipped out like a motherfucker and he missed it. And then he also said he saw Tiger on Saturday, but he was too scared to talk to him. We're talking about a guy who was eventually going to end up winning the tournament in a playoff against Tony Finau. He obviously belongs there, no doubt about it. And he still is too scared to talk to Tiger Woods. That's how we are. We're scared to talk to Tiger Woods. When we met Tiger Woods, I got my brain scrambled by one question, and Frankie Borelli didn't say one word. He just smiled a bunch. So like the things, Max Homa is such a great guy to follow on Twitter and just to follow his PGA Tour career, because he really does just feel like one of us, and he got handed a trophy by Tiger Woods yesterday. It's an incredible story.
Yeah, he's the guy from Twitter. That's what I tweeted yesterday. The guy from Twitter won a golf tournament, and Tiger Woods handed him a fucking trophy. That's a crazy oh, here we go again, motherfucker. That's just an insane like thing that happened in the world yesterday, that the dude that tweets out memes and mean things about our golf swings, and the guy that we can go to like try and get some social interaction, and maybe he'll like roast your golf swing once in a while and you get a couple of retweets. That guy went out there, played, like you said, a flawless, especially coming down the stretch. Like some of those drives you were hitting were perfect. Faldo was like so impressed with his composure. I mean, they were so into how he was playing. You had Burns, he was burning up, no pun intended, but he was just flying off a cliff. And then you had Tony Finau. We'll get into that whole thing. But the fact that he played just so perfectly with all, and knowing all of those emotions going through his head, it's your home course. You want to win. You were top 5 last year. You know that you have all these things going through your brain. Tiger Woods is standing on top of the green, waiting to hand you this trophy that you've always wanted to win your whole entire life, missing that putt, going to a playoff. The composure to be able to reset your brain, man, I really got to hand it to him, because I didn't know that a guy from Twitter had that in him. Like, I thought that he would be the guy that would be afraid to talk to Tiger, because he isn't a pro golfer. He's just a guy from Twitter. He's not that mentality. He doesn't have the Xander Schauffele cool guy, I'm supposed to be here, been there, done that. He doesn't have the Rory McIlroy bounce, the walk down the fairway. He's just the guy from Twitter. And that's all he'll ever be in my brain. The fact that he's winning makes no sense.
It's pretty interesting how little people are now talking about Sam Burns. We're talking about a guy who was leading for 3 days straight. And at one point after Friday, he had a 5-stroke lead on the entire field. And then on Saturday, he's about to tee off, and the wind starts to pick up like crazy. 4-hour delay. And then he just has a couple bogeys on the back nine on Sunday, falls out of contention, and now it's all, and rightfully so, it's about Max Homa and Tony Finau. But Sam Burns, for 12 to 13 holes on Sunday, was staring down, playing in a final group with Dustin Johnson, and he shot 31 on the front nine, I believe. He was playing great, and then he just faded a little bit, and now we're no longer talking about Sam Burns. I feel kind of bad for him.
There's a couple names out there, and Sam Burns is one of them. When he's leading the golf tournament going into Sunday, you say there's no chance this guy wins. And he's
but that's what I kept saying that too, and then he played so well on the front nine on Sunday with DJ and his group. I was like, oh, he might actually do this. And then it didn't work out. I feel bad for him.
Brother, yeah. when they were showing the leaderboard, even when they were on hole 14, 13, I was looking from 2 and on. Whoever was in the mix, I'm like, all right, we got DJs in the mix. I never looked at Burns once. You just felt it. You just knew. I had to look him up. He went to LSU. He's 24 years old. When you have to know all this stuff about the guy, you know he has no chance. No chance.
Yeah, he's young. You're right. Like, and I like, this will be part of the reason that in the future you will think Sam Burns has a chance to win. But because this was the time, you were right. And it was the same way, where it's like, okay, you can't have all these names. You can't have DJ. You can't have Tony Finau. You can't have Max Homa, who's got the hometown story, who's won at Quail Hollow before. You can't have these names, and then Sam Burns is just going to win it. And you weren't sure how he wasn't going to win it, but I completely agree with you, Frankie. He wasn't. I feel bad in the sense that, like, if this were hockey, like, he would just have a 3-1 series lead over the other team. But because it's golf, he just lost the tournament and nobody's talking about it. So that's very unfortunate. Like, you win 3 of the 4 days, you dominate, you lead wire to wire. And then the last 7 holes, he didn't even melt down. He just stumbled a little and other people just stole it from him. So I do feel bad. I was just looking, Max Homa, I think his last 26 holes, if you include the playoff holes, he didn't make a bogey at Riviera under intense pressure and tough conditions in a tournament where only 3 players finished double digits under par. So clearly a golf course that was playing difficult. You get on the wrong side, you hit a poor tee shot, you get behind a tree, which did happen to him. You can make a bogey so easily out at Riviera. And for the last 20 Sunday and, the final round of Saturday, which a lot of it was on Sunday as well, no bogeys from him. That's just so money for him to go out there and snag the tournament like that. So you're right, Frankie, to have it be a guy that can also play, the social media game and play it well and play it authentically. It almost makes you wonder, like, why can't more people do it, right? Like, he's not sacrificing his career and how good he could be at golf, like some people online might say, because he just sends out 10 or 20 tweets a day. Like, he's just able to do both, but it seems like you shouldn't. You can't be a normal person who does what we do on Twitter and arguably does it better than we do, and then, like, also win a PGA Tour event at Riviera. You just can't do that.
Right. It's actually kind of fucked up. Like, Twitter's our area. That's our space. That's where we work and try to be funny. You can't do that and also be great on the PGA Tour and win $1.6 million at Riviera. Like, it's almost unfair that he gets both of those things.
It's bullshit.
I think Big Cat tweeted out, but once he missed that putt on 18, Big Cat in all caps was like, "Oh no, Max, how can you come back to Twitter now?" There is that fine line where if you become a meme or something, when you are the meme tweeter guy, there is no coming back from it. Like, he has made his bed, he would have to sleep in it. When he becomes a Twitter guy, he would get absolutely, like, had he not won that tournament yesterday, it would have been a tough couple days on the Twitter sphere for Max Homa.
Yeah.
You just know, like, everyone's tweeting at him how he missed that putt, you know, that he took it back the wrong way, you weren't aiming the right spot. Like, it just would have been nonstop. So maybe the biggest victory for him there was the fact that he gets to do his little victory tour on Twitter now.
And how impressive was it for him to come back from that? Because you're right. Like, that is, he wouldn't be able to log in, I would say, for 2 to 3 days, because it would just be flooded with that zoom up, that super zoom that they had on his putt, and it lipping out, and that being your lasting memory at your course. That's your spot, your favorite tournament. You have made it known that it's your favorite tournament. He even was getting in the mix with us before. We were chirping about he's on the boosted bet with Spieth. So it's like, don't fuck it up this week. And then, yeah, he was still going to finish top 30, but for that clip to have been the lasting memory from him, and then him somehow to like go over to the range. He was on his phone a little bit. He said he's texting some buddies, talked to the wife, and then he goes out there, hits a good tee shot on 10, stymied behind a tree. And one of the more amazing things I've seen, and really very telling of, I would say, the difference between a lot of us, especially Frankie Borelli, and like a professional athlete like Max, like, he walked up and they had the super zoom in again on his face when he realized where the ball was. There was no panic. He just kind of surveyed the situation, looked at his options, hit a great shot, and gave himself a chance. Whereas if you look at all of our reactions on Twitter, it was like meltdown. Oh my God, fuck. Frankie said like tournament over. And then like he just hits a hooded 50-degree hook wedge punch from behind a tree that like spins up onto the green to 10 feet and almost makes birdie. That was fucking awesome that he did.
Being up against that tree was bad luck, but I think the camera angle fucked those of us on Twitter, because when they first showed it, I didn't think he was going to be able to get a swing on it. I thought he was going to have to go lefty and just punch it out of there, but it was actually, the camera was on the other side, so he was going to be able to get a righty swing on it. So it wasn't as bad as I initially thought it was, but that's taking nothing away from the eventual shot that he hit, because I mean, nobody on this podcast especially gets anywhere close to the green from that spot. So for him to do that just to stay alive was one of the more impressive things I've seen lately.
First camera angle was a bitch. I mean, the first camera angle of that ball's nestled up there. I'm saying he has to hit it lefty, opposite hand, the whole thing. There's no chance he gets that ball up and down. He loses the tournament. Tony Finau wins. Like, there was no way. And then all of a sudden he's addressing the ball and he just gets a full swing at the thing and can punch it out. I was like, well, now I want to take my tweet back. I almost like, I wanted Twitter to give me my tweet back, because the first, I don't know, 6 full minutes of us talking about that ball, there was no chance. I screamed when I was watching it. He has to take it unplayable or hit it backwards. He's done. The game's over. Today is over. And then all of a sudden they show him address the ball. I mean, nothing was in the way of that swing. Yeah, he had to turn over the wrist a little bit, but he's a fucking professional athlete. He can get it. I was stunned at how different the 2 camera angles were. I don't know where that first one was from.
If that were one of our videos, everyone would claim that we cheated, that we moved the ball. Like,
yes.
Like, people just would be like, you guys are scumbags. That's not where it was. So the first camera angle completely fucked us. And he had the shot, like, now still pulling that shot off on that green where like you watch people go ping pong back and forth on that green all the time. So if he hits that ball when you're trying to like hit some weird hooded thing into the hill, like if he hits it a little too hard, it just goes over the green into like a bunker and then you're fucked. So he had a great shot. He did say afterwards, even like, yeah, I don't think that shot was as hard as other people probably thought that it was. So good on him. He figured it out, but to do it in that moment, I mean, guess what? A 3-foot putt's also not that fucking hard, but he missed that because it's hard to win a golf tournament. So for him to hit that shot and come back, Tony to not get up and down was, as Tony as it gets. Like the last 2 holes in the playoff, really the last 3 holes. If you count the 72nd hole, it's a great drive. He's got like a pitching wedge in or a 9-iron or something. And like Chunk hooked it a little bit into the left spot where you can't really hit it. Made a good chip.
That's really the shot that not enough people are talking about, because that was the one. If he just puts it on the green anywhere close, he's got to look at birdie and it would be over. But he middle of the fairway, I think it was 145, 146 yards out, and he just chunks it to the fringe, and that's really where he lost the tournament, in my opinion.
Yeah, and then he doesn't get up and down on 10 after hitting a great tee shot, and then he hits a poor shot on the 14? That's that par 3,
14, yeah.
And then fails to get up and down. So yeah, the guy shot fucking 64. Did he? Could you say overall yesterday he just overall choked? No, but it's like there's you go through those last 3 holes and it's like he just needed to be one shot better over those 3 holes after coming off a day where he shot 64. It's like he just under the pressure wasn't as good as he was the rest of the time, and that's what adds up to a million second places and a million top 10s over the last 5 years instead of wins. Is that a bad thing for that human compared to other humans? No. The guy made $1 million yesterday. Literally made $1 million, and he does that all the time. I think he has 5 top 5 finishes this year. So in his last 9 starts or something like that. Like that is those numbers. He's got 5 top 10 finishes and 9 starts this season. So it's like clearly he's cashing checks. He's a great player. But there's a difference between winning tournaments and not winning tournaments. And when the monkey just keeps getting bigger and bigger on that back, he's got to be thinking about it nonstop. Like he has to be thinking about it nonstop.
Yeah, I saw.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry, man. It's this office. I'm back in the office, and there's people walking around. The service isn't as good. We have this huge office. There's nowhere to record this podcast. I'm in a little fucking shoe room. It's crazy, and I can't get anything done in here. It's opportunities wasted. That's the biggest thing for me. You're not going to get that many opportunities in your life to make an impact on the sport, blah, 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 get your name in history. These guys are all making money. Tony Finau is a fucking Nike athlete that they're all making money, right? And he makes a shit ton of money. After he won in 2000 in Puerto Rico. He was on whatever. This fucking guy needs to win golf tournaments. He's had so many chances. How many second place finishes? How many top 5s? Just get it done. You have a chance. It's like the Islanders with me last year. They made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. How many more times are you going to get there to Game 6 where you're a couple periods away from the Stanley Cup Finals? You have to do it all over again next year. Tony Finau has to do it all over again. He has to shoot a 64. He's got to get into a playoff. You know how hard that is against the competition he plays against? He's standing on top of 18, watching Max Homa. Max Homa misses the putt. Tony has another chance, and he still loses. This guy can't get it done. He just can't get it done. And I feel so bad for this motherfucker because it's opportunities wasted. He could have, I don't know, conservatively speaking, 10 PGA Tour wins at this point, maybe 12, maybe 15. Who knows? Like, it's getting so ridiculous to the point where every week he's in the top 5. Every single one. Dude, it's February of 2021. He has how many top 5 finishes? 5?
This season, he's already got 5.
This season.
Top 10
finishes. I mean, what are we talking about here? The guy's nonstop in the mix. He's 1 or 2 strokes. He's a bladed wedge over the green or a chunk hook into the bunker away from winning every time.
Yeah, since his win in 2016, he's got 10 runner-up finishes, 21 top 5s, and 37 top 10s.
10?
He's made $20 million.
10 runner-ups.
10 runner-ups is statistically impossible.
10 of them. Yesterday was his 10th runner-up. 10. He's made $20 million bucks. So again, the money's not the thing. We're no longer talking about money. Tony Finau has more than enough money. It's going to be fine. He needs a win. I'm starting to worry. He's just one of these guys. I feel like we all know people in our lives. I'm not just talking golf. I'm just talking people we know there's some people where things always go right. They get all the breaks. Everything goes their way. They end up very successful. Things are great. And then there's people who there's just everything goes wrong. And it's tough to say that with Tony because he's made $20 million since that win. Everything is all good. He's a professional golfer. He's incredible at golf, whatever. But what if it just continues to break this way for the rest of his career? And he's in his 30s. I think people get confused that they think that he's in his mid to late 20s. He's into his 30s now. Like, what if he's just one of those guys where things never break his way and he never gets a win again?
And to Frankie's point, like, look at Spieth. Like, look how easily it can just go away. Like, you do need to capitalize when you have these chances. And to go, like, to not it's a hockey podcast, but I remember when the Blues made their run and actually won. I remember it was Game 7 of round 2 when they were playing the Dallas Stars. And I remember they were just fucking dominating them, but it goes to double overtime of Game 7. Pat Maroons ends up scoring. But in that overtime, I was like, this is it. Like, if the Blues don't win this game, they'll never win a Stanley Cup, even though we're only in round 2. And if they do win this game, I think they're going to win the cup. They're the best team in the league, but they could just right now, something like a fucking light could flicker in the background and Benner can't see a puck and it goes in and it's just over. We're just never going to win a Stanley Cup. Like, that's how easily shit can just not work out. And if it doesn't, you don't know ever if you're going to get back there. Like, Tony Finau could look at what happened to Francesco Molinari, which, shout out, nobody's talking about him. I saw he had like a sneaky tied for 8th or something, but that fucking guy, he flares a 9-iron or whatever on the 12th hole at Augusta. Tiger stomps on his face, and that guy fell off the face of the earth for 2 years. Like, you just don't – it's not easy to play good golf. And any one of these moments when Tony doesn't cash in could be the last time for years that he has a chance to win a golf tournament.
This isn't the college basketball podcast, but I feel that way with Iowa basketball right now. We've got Luka Garza, player of the year. He's going to win it. And this is our best chance at getting to the Final Four, maybe winning a title. As soon as Luka Garza walks out of that locker room for the last time, there won't be an Iowa basketball team like this for 50 years. I'll probably be dead the next time that they compete. So it's all about opportunities. And each time Tony lets one go, that could just be the last one. And everybody's rooting for Finau. And that was the theme on Twitter yesterday was everybody's rooting for Finau and everybody was rooting for Homa. So when that playoff came about, it was just like, all right, whoever wins, we're going to be happy. But I definitely felt more devastated for Tony Finau yesterday than I have in any of his other close calls.
That hockey game was when Jamie Benn put it through Binnington's legs and it went off the post and then went across the fucking goal line.
He had a wide open wraparound, and he just missed. And if that goes in, the Blues might go another 30 years and have never won a Stanley Cup.
Dude, I remember watching that, be like, no way does that puck not go in. And then they win the Stanley Cup 2 rounds later. So many things happen after that. But if you go back to that one moment, they just lose. That's just so insane.
They lose unceremoniously. They're like infamously the team that never gets past the second round if that puck just goes in the net like it should have.
Yeah, and same. I mean, you can break down all of sports down to like the millisecond and all these little moments, but when it starts to add up, right? Like you can say, oh, Derek Jeter, the flip play, maybe he wasn't out at home plate, Jeremy Giambi, the whole thing, Jorge Posada may not have got him, but like it's seconds, right? All these things that happen in sports, you can break it down. But when you have such a big sample size like Tony Finau, you're allowed to start saying, well, now these are opportunities wasted. Like, it's not just 1 or 2 times where, serendipity happens or something for another guy and someone has a career day and makes a 80-foot putt to beat him. No. Like Tony Finau has had every single chance to get wins in the last 5 years. He has 10 second place finishes. Let's fire that at a 30% clip, Tony, and let's just win 3 more golf tournaments. And you're in there, man. That's 4 wins on the PGA Tour. You're fucking a guy of this era that just can get it done. I can't wrap my head around Tony Finau, and he's such a good guy. We've been in the mix around him. We've seen his peers talk about how good of a dude he is. I love Tony Finau, even though we've never really had a chance to talk to him. I think I asked him one question in Australia when we were pretending to be journalists. Remember, we were thinking about words to say to people. I was like, hey, Tony, what are you thinking about this Sandbelt golf course? Is that something that you prepare for? Or he's like, what? He tried to answer it so nice, but I just didn't remember.
The more people we talk about Australia, the more I realize I don't remember 90% of it.
Dude, they were on these platforms and we were just walking around trying to act like fucking, I don't know, Jeff Shackelford, like we had a notebook of questions or something. And I had nothing. And I said, hey, Tony, and I just asked him nothing. Nothing. Because all those questions are nothing. If you really think about it, all those questions are absolutely nothing.
You very rarely
there to just speak.
Yeah, you're not going to, I'll say too, when I do listen to those pressers, I was even listening to Max's last night after, and the questions that the journalists ask, I would say they miss at about a 70% clip, that their questions just suck. and they lead to absolutely nothing entertaining whatsoever. Like and you can tell that the player even is like, how could you possibly want to know anything that I'm gonna, it's like what words that I'm gonna speak in reaction to the words that you just spoke to me? Like, what are we doing here? So
Yeah.
to think then that we were gonna be able to do that in Australia on that platform, but you're right, Tony Finau, by all accounts, nicest guy on the planet. He posted afterwards a class act, a picture of his son, Sage, I think is his name, like standing up on the TV, like hugging daddy because he's watching him on TV. And he basically just wrote that, like, yeah, keep your head down, keep grinding, great week this week with his caddy. And so he just handled the best they could. It does feel a little bit like Trent, shout out to the Bachelor. It feels like when they panned to him after a loss, it's like those cameras and when they're in the limo after they've just had their heart ripped out and it's like a contractual obligation where they have to speak to the camera. That's when they did the whole thing with Max and he's crying and he's telling stories about him and his dad and going out to Riviera and how this means the world to him. There's no better tournament to win. And then they're like, all right, Dottie, like now it's 4 inches over here to the left. What's Tony up to? And he's just fucking.
I think she even said that's got to be tough for you to hear how important this tournament was to Max Homa. And Tony, he is a great guy. He's like, yeah, he even said, and this broke my heart a little bit too, where he said, it hasn't even really hit me what just happened yet. I haven't been able to, because we're talking 3-4 minutes after he loses on the 14th hole. He's like, yeah, it hasn't really sunk in what's going on yet. And you just think that later on the night, he's just got to be kicking himself, being like, I was that close again. Yeah, I mean, we can all say that Tony's a great guy. He'll be up there again. He's going to probably win eventually, right? I think we all assume that's going to happen. But there's got to be moments at night when he's staring up at the ceiling before he falls asleep, just being like, that was another one. That was a fucking another one.
That putt on 14, he saw the break. Like, if you give a guy like Tony Finau that exact line and he knows exactly where to go, I couldn't believe he missed that. It's a tough putt. It's in the shadows, the whole thing. It slides, but he knew the break, man. When you give a guy like Tony Finau, who's 10 runner-ups in the last fucking 5 years, you'd give him a line, I feel like he makes a putt every single time. Like, Riggs makes putts when we play fucking scrambles when he sees the line. Like, I just couldn't believe he was that off. He gave it too much juice.
I'm glad you said that because whenever I do post a Daily 9 or I reference one of those scramble putts I've made, everyone's like, well, you got to see the read. And it's like, okay, the best players in the fucking world just got to see the read and he just missed it.
Exactly.
So it's not as easy as you think. But it is, look, if I miss a fucking putt in one of our matches and Frankie gets to laugh at me all night, I'm staring at the ceiling all night and I can't get over it. So now you're talking about Tony Finau, losing tournament after tournament that he could have won. I don't know how he does it. Like, I don't know how he does it. How does he keep his sanity? And then when they pan to him too with the social distancing and he's standing, he literally looks like he's on a sad island by himself, just on the side of the green. And I'm just like, man, and he has to listen and watch the whole thing.
It's also not a lack of wanting it. Like, I don't get the vibe from Tony Finau that he's happy taking these second place checks and just, being a millionaire and living life as a professional golfer. I don't get that vibe. I get that vibe that he wants it. Like, he seems devastated after these losses. So that's another part of it where he clearly wants to win so badly, and the breaks, they just don't go his way. I would love to know. I didn't see anybody asking the question about his approach shot on 18. I would love to know what happened there. Why he didn't get to.
He's not really collapsing either. He's not really collapsing.
He shot a 64 yesterday.
So he can't really be better. But he finds himself in situations where when the TV turns off and you're on to your next thing on Sunday, the last thing you thought about is him missing a putt in a playoff and not advancing it or not taking advantage of when Max Homa was under a tree and he, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's all you're thinking about. Even though he shot the 64, even though he came from behind to get up to Sam Burns and Max Homa and all these guys, he just couldn't get it done at the end. And it just sucks that's the feeling. That's the taste in your mouth. That's the sour taste that I walk away from Sunday thinking that Tony Finau had all these chances in the last 3 times that he played a golf hole in that tournament and he didn't get it done.
It's true, and it sucks, and everyone's thinking it. It reminds me, Trent, back in 2017. Remember when Charlie Hoffman was finishing second a bunch?
Oh, yeah.
And I think it was at Muirfield maybe, but he had the lie where his caddy was trying to talk him into laying up on a par 5, and he was like, there's like 3 holes to left. I'm down by a couple shots. I'm tired of finishing second. He took the longer club and went for it. and everyone was like, ooh, I mean, he ended up finishing second, I think, but that it reminds me, it's like the same sort of these guys, there's no way it's not on their mind. Of course it's on their mind. It only makes it harder. And I don't think he has, like Rory's been accused at times of being like, he's a little carefree. It's like, if he had a little more killer instinct, like, yeah, Tony's a nice guy, but he doesn't strike me either as a guy that doesn't have the fire. Like, I think he has the fire, and I think he has played pretty damn well at a lot of these times, and someone else has just played better. And the 64 yesterday, like, it almost felt like now he's kind of lost every way that you can lose. Like yesterday, he did the thing where people are like, oh, I actually really like Tony's chances now because he could come from way behind and steal the tournament. He tried that with a 64, and that's not fucking working either. So
yeah,
I don't know what else he could do.
You do got to hope it's a darkest before the dawn situation where he's got so much scar tissue from losing in, like you're saying, every single way possible, that hopefully he can take that and apply it to the next tournament and he learns from it and then he gets a win. But it does seem like he is like a masochist and almost losing in every single way possible before he gets that win.
Agreed. I think he's going to get it done soon, but he really needs to get it done soon because you don't know how long this is going to last. And this win.
Or Colby, our guy Colby just goes to the ringer every single Sunday. He becomes the Tony Finau tracker on the weekends. And yesterday was about as close as you can get. And Colby was jacked up, and it still just didn't work out.
Finau hasn't won a golf tournament since we started the podcast.
That's right.
And Colby's been putting action on Tony Finau every single golf tournament.
Colby's been like there behind the scenes editing us and listening to us talk about how he's getting fucked by Tony Finau not winning tournaments since we started the podcast.
Right.
That's 4 years ago.
Right.
Literally over 4 years ago. You just can't.
Before we move on from Homa and Finau, because I feel like we're shifting that way, the CBS, the broadcasts need to figure out a way, and I don't have an answer to this, but they need to figure out a way to talk about Max Homa being good at Twitter in a way that doesn't make them sound 200 years old. Because whenever they bring it up, they talk about, oh, here's Max Homa. He's a great golfer. He's from this area. He loves Riviera. And he's good at the interwebs. Like, they don't quite know how to talk about it in a way that doesn't make them sound ancient. And I don't have an answer. But anytime Terry Gannon or Nick Faldo bring up how good Max Homa is at Twitter, it just really sounds like they're fossils.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like a couple fucking dorks trying to describe how somebody else is the cool kid in class. Like that, it's just I don't know. And I don't even know that you need to describe it. Like, trying to describe it makes it less cool. Right? Like,
especially from them.
I get the impulse to talk about it because it is part of Max Homa's story. But they don't talk about it in the right way.
No, it's crazy. It makes you want to turn down the volume on your TV.
They had a bunch of weird graphics. Like at one point, it was like Max Homa bio, Dodgers fan, Lakers fan. It like had his handle, and then it was like got a call from Tommy Lasorda last year after he won. And it was just like that's his bio. They were trying to be like, oh, like he's just a kid. He's a kid that gets popcorn at the games and likes to watch the ball games and put on his ball cap.
They would benefit greatly if they could just say, when talking about Max Homa on Twitter, that he loves to bust balls on Twitter. If they could say that and then that was it, that'd be perfect. But they sort of have to work around him talking shit to people and roasting their swings, but it's in a lighthearted way. So it's hard to describe that without just being like, yeah, he likes to shoot the shit and bust balls on Twitter.
Yeah. They need to keep it simpler, but it does sound awful every time they do it. Awful. Hard to listen to. Something that does not sound awful actually sounds great because they got 10 sound engineers. I'm talking about the Sim 2 family, folks, from TaylorMade, the brand new Sim 2 family. You see them us talk about them. You've seen us get fitted, went out to the kingdom, got fitted. Their cheat codes, their weapons. The Sim 2 driver, 3-wood, 5-wood. What'd you say, Frank?
It's my baby girl.
This is your well, Frank, this is when his face gets like I've never seen him like this.
Honey, wow, I've never seen you like this before. You're smitten.
Yeah, he is.
I'm nervous.
He's smitten.
I'm nervous. We're spilling the tea right now, but you know, I went on a date and she put out, fellas. She fucking put out.
So for those that don't know, and I guarantee you saw it because it went crazy on Twitter. to, it was just like Frankie went on a date. He went out to dinner. It looked like at Borelli's, had a nice slice of pizza, a little bit of wine. Then you guys saw a movie. What movie did you guys see?
We saw Wonder Woman.
Okay. That's a good one.
Yeah.
And then it looks like you got lucky, which I'm happy for you.
Yeah, I did. No, it's probably the most ridiculous thing I've ever put out on social media. And I messaged you a couple times seeing if I should do that because I didn't know if it crossed lines. I didn't know how TaylorMade was going to feel about me taking their new driver on a date and bringing them home and putting them in the bed sheets. But I think it was well received on all accounts. Yeah, I just wanted to show my love for this club. I've never had a golf club that I felt this way about. And I'm still not even trying to do that whole pun and joke thing. I genuinely am so happy that we are partnered with TaylorMade as opposed to any other company. Like I see these commercials for the other ones and like just the names of the other ones, they're just stupid. It's like a bunch of guys sitting around a boardroom being like, what's a cool word that kids on the interwebs use? And they're like, well, when they play Call of Duties, they say that was an epic kill or something like that. It's like, oh, sick. Like they do their BMX tricks like the Tony Hawks of the world and it's epics and stuff. So no, I'm a really big fan of TaylorMade and I love the look of it. I'm very proud to be able to show it off. I think you feel proud about the product that you're holding. And,
right.
And we saw the way that they build it. We saw the engineers, we saw everything. And whenever I get into an argument or debate with someone about clubs and if TaylorMade's the best or not, I say, Tiger Woods, is he the best golfer of all time? What driver does he use? And then I hang up the phone.
Yeah,
it's as simple as that.
And it's like you watch on Sunday, Dustin Johnson's using it, Rory's using it. Like they don't have to think of cool names for their clubs. They just know that the best players in the world are like, yeah, I like that club. That's the one I want to use. And that's all the marketing they need.
Find something about Tiger Woods, read one article and let me know if he's the best person to ever hold a golf club. And no, I mean, in the book, Tiger Woods, where he has his face on the front, he talks about how he can tell the difference between the grams of shafts within, you're talking 1 gram here and there. This guy knows equipment more than anyone in the world. And he just happened to choose TaylorMade to be his equipment sponsor for the fucking drivers and all these clubs. Are you kidding me? In what world do you think that you, Joe Schmo, sitting on the fucking couch, are going to make a different decision or a better decision when it comes to clubs than Tiger fucking Woods? Grow up, look yourself in the mirror and say, you know what? You're right. I should probably listen to Tiger Woods. Like he had the choice to pick any fucking company in the world. Money is no option to him. It does not matter. He wants the best equipment. He wants the best firing arms. And that's what he picked. Case closed. We don't even need to do the ad reads. Case closed.
That's a really good point on how you would refute that. Dustin Johnson is currently the number 1 ranked player in the world, Masters champion. He uses TaylorMade. So go get TaylorMade. Get the Sim 2 family. They're in stores and they're available for shipping right now. Sim 2 is a cheat code. It's a weapon. You need it in your bag. Tiger Woods. We'll continue on our Tiger Woods chatter. He made an appearance. It is, of course, the Genesis Invitational. It benefits the Tiger Woods Foundation, TGR, the work that they've been doing for 20, 25 years, millions and millions and millions of dollars raised to help educate and advance opportunities for children. It's a great cause. Tiger Woods couldn't play this year because he had a back surgery in December. I believe it was right before Christmas, just after the PNC when he played with son Charlie. We haven't seen him since. He released a couple statements. That was pretty much it. He appeared on the broadcast in a one-on-one sort of headset distanced interview with Jim Nantz. And it was weird. The whole fucking thing, start to finish, it was weird. It was Tiger gave nothing. He said nothing. And Jim Nantz was trying so hard to get something out of him. Jim Nantz likes to make people cry as best as he can. He couldn't get Tiger to announce if he's tied his fucking shoes or not. Like he couldn't get anything out of Tiger Woods. He's asking him about the Masters. Tiger says, we'll see. He's asking me going to play a tournament before the Masters. Tiger says, we don't know the plan yet. It was tough to watch, and all of that while not looking particularly spry, I would say. So the whole thing was just not the best appearance for the first time seeing Tiger Woods in 2 or 3 months that I would have hoped for.
Yeah, he looked, I'll say he looked tired at best. He looked tired. He did not seem that engaged with the conversation. Jim Nantz was pressing him a little bit on what his future looks like coming up in the next couple months. Tiger gave nothing. I know people were making like edibles jokes. He looked like a little stoned from like California edibles. Who knows what was going on? But if I had to put a percentage on it, if we're talking about whether or not we're going to see Tiger Woods at Augusta National or not in the next couple months, I'd put it at 30%. We didn't know. He hadn't talked to the media in a while since his release about the 5th back surgery. So we're thinking, all right, maybe he'll mix in one event, but he's surely going to be at the Masters trying to get another green jacket. After yesterday, I would be surprised if he plays.
I mean,
and it makes me feel bad. It makes me feel like shit because I want him to play, but he just does not seem healthy or energetic, or like it seemed to me that he was down in the dumps about where he is currently, and when he's going to play next is very much up in the air.
I mean, if you ask me who gave a better like on-set Sunday at the golf tournament appearance, him or Clint Eastwood, I don't know. It's close. It's like they're in the same fucking boat with their appearances. I thought he was going to start staring out looking for the Pacific Ocean at one point. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it we were watching.
It looked as though, and this is all, I mean, people are speculating, but it looked like he was high as a fucking kite. I mean, I wanted Jim Nantz to do the whole thing from Pineapple Express, be like, you're high as a fucking kite right now, aren't you? But I mean, that's obviously, he could have been doing the 3-chi, the edibles, whatever. Who knows what was happening, but he was just loopy, loosey-goosey, staring through. At one point, he was looking down and he was like smirking to himself, and his eyes were really big and puffy. And he looked up because I guess they were watching a screen of the golf, and they cut back to him, and he's looking down. And Jim Nantz goes, "Now Tiger," and Tiger goes, "Yeah," and he said, "Yeah," like as if it was like a reminder, like, "Hey man, like you're in a conversation right now." Yeah. And listen, usually Jim Nantz is having a normal broadcast conversation where he's like, "All right, now Tiger, what do you think?" And Tiger said, "Yeah," right after he heard the word Tiger, "Yeah." And looked up. Go back and watch the broadcast and tell me that that's not the weirdest thing he's ever done in his career.
Listen, I've been gone off the 3-chi. I'm no stranger to that. So sometimes you just get into a thought and you just start chasing and you're thinking about Jupiter and you're starting to think about like what's really out there and what's it expanding into, and then you forget that you're also on the couch with somebody and they're like, "What do you want to watch?" And you're like, yeah, okay, all right, yeah. What are we doing? It was like and I'm pretty sure the interview was much shorter than they had anticipated. Like I thought they were going to have him on for a while, sort of talking about golfers going down the stretch, but it was maybe like an 8 to 9 minute interview, and it was just one of the strangest things I've ever seen on my television.
Yeah, he brings the juice, man. No matter what, whether it's awkward, whether it's bad, whether it's good, Tiger Woods is must-watch content. He doesn't give these boring ass. You show up, you watch him, you leave, like all these other greats. If you bring in anyone from baseball and they come in during the intermission and they talk with the broadcast, it's like whatever. But Tiger Woods, the way he looked on that screen, you never know what you're gonna get. It's fucking Russian roulette with this guy. One day he could look like the most powerful, incredible golfer of all time. The next day could look like he's never going to play golf again. And that's why you always he keeps you on your toes. And that's why we are in the Tiger faithful, and we will go with him until the end of time, because you never know what he's going to do. And that's a fun road to be on.
I will say when he was giving Max the trophy and when they were taking the pictures afterwards, he looked like normal Tiger. Yeah. Like that, yes. I was expecting to see him be like the same way, because like you said, Frankie, even during the interview, he was hunched over. Like he had his elbows on his knees. I don't know if he was leaning down to look at a TV or whatever, but when he was giving the trophy and taking pictures with Max, he looked completely fine.
Yeah, I was worried too that we were just going to get reports that he was like carried off on a stretcher onto his plane, and then Tiger was just gone as quickly as he arrived. So to see him standing, and he did interviews, I think with a few other outlets, it looked like that. I don't know if those have gone out yet, but those were good signs. And you could tell, like when they brought him on the broadcast, they were anticipating he was going to do the like, oh yeah, Max Homa has about a 7-iron here on 14. And I think he's going to try to play, some sort of cut shot. This green actually does. And he just like, were you going to be at Augusta? Not sure yet. Got to talk to the surgeon. Like, all right. Yeah, all right. Okay. that was all you're getting out of him. So it was tough for Nantz. I actually felt bad for Nantz in the moment, because he's like, we're live, dude. Like we need something out of you. And he just wasn't going to give him anything.
When the question is posed to Tiger Woods, doesn't matter who it's from, Jim Nantz or anybody, when they ask him the question, do you think you're going to be playing in the Masters this year? The answer I don't want to hear, but the answer that I got yesterday was, God, I hope so. It's just not what you're looking for. So, and I mean, the Masters is coming up real quick. We're talking a month and a half, and our guy does not seem ready.
He also, he said he lengthened his putter. Like, what is he just going to be pro anchoring now? Next thing you know, like, what do you mean Tiger Woods is lengthening his putter? That thing, that Elder Wand hasn't changed in decades, to the point where that little black circle on the back of it, that thing's withered away, and we're not changing anything about it. We're not coming up with a new black circle. We're not doing anything. That thing is just what it's meant to be. And now you're telling me Tiger fucking Woods lengthening his putter so that he can stand up straight like Tim Clark out there putting? Like, what are we doing here?
Dude, speaking of the Elder Wand, I did a whole rewatch of Harry Potter recently, and it got me thinking. We talk about these Horcruxes, right? And for anyone that doesn't know about the Harry Potter universe, and here's a spoiler, the fucking movie's been out for 20 years. The books have been out. But Voldemort, we not speak his name, but I do, because I'm a fucking hero, and I'm not scared of him. Voldemort
like some courageous person all of a sudden?
Yes.
What? I also don't believe you.
Voldemort, Tom Riddle, split his soul into many pieces using very, very dark magic so that he could be immortal, right? Like, you can put it into a locket, you can put it into a tiara, and you can hide these things. So when someone tries to kill you, your soul still lives within that piece of whatever. And Harry Potter has to go find them and kill him, because to kill Voldemort, you have to kill the Horcruxes. We've said this about Tiger Woods, that, the putter, the Scotty, is a Horcrux. We've gone through the whole thing. Maybe Frank, his putter, his head cover, his Tiger head cover is one.
Mack.
Maybe Robbie Mack is definitely one.
The snake in Harry Potter.
Now, the thing that I was thinking about, though, is, to kill Voldemort, Harry Potter had to die, because a part of Voldemort was in Harry Potter. Now, do we think, and also when you kill someone, your soul splits even more, so you're able to do. So Tiger's killed many people in his life on the golf course, right? Like, he's just DeMarco and all, there's these people throughout his career, Phil Mickelson, like, there are people throughout his career that he's buried their soul. Do we have to kill one of those people to release that from them? You know what I mean? Like, is there something we're missing here? Like, or is Tiger going to be alive forever unless they kill him? You know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to think of, because he does have Horcruxes. Tiger has these things in his life that are a constant. He waves them around through his fingers like his putter. It's just right in your face, but it's also secretive. And I'm trying to think, like, there's got to be this extra layer. And who would be that person? Like, who is Tiger? Who is Tiger's Harry to Voldemort? Who has he killed, and part of his soul lives within him?
Well, what I would say is he's killed so many people that I would be more searching for the person that Tiger hasn't killed, that he's sparred with, who he still needs to kill. Like, is anybody, right? Like,
Francesco Molinari, he killed.
Right. But you could argue beforehand, when Molinari took him down at Carnoustie, that, like, he had become a bit of a Horcrux, and Tiger needed to murder him, which he did at Augusta National, which is basically the Horcrux. So, like, but is there anybody else out there that Tiger has yet?
Okay, but in our movie, Voldemort wins. Tiger Woods lives forever. So there is a person out there that is, like, scheming, like, we got to get to Scotty, we got to get to Robbie, we got to get to Frank, we got to, and they're thinking, like, who's that last person? We need to kill that person first. Voldemort needs to live in this scenario, because he needs to live forever. Like, Tiger is the villain on tour. He's the guy that everyone wants to, he's just fucking walking around, Avada Kedavra, and he's killing everyone. Fucking majors out the asshole. Who's the one guy that's slipping away?
You could argue it's like the National Enquirer, and that we had to, like, eliminate him to protect Tiger. I don't know that it's necessarily a golfer. Like, I don't think a simple human golfer possesses the power to take down Tiger Woods. I think it might be a greater scheme than that.
We're going to get a tweet, and, I wanted it to be like Jack, like, we just have to kill Jack and Tiger Woods forever, but it's not, because, like, they never really had that. But we're gonna get tweets about there's one guy that's like beaten Tiger that he never got his revenge, and like, you know, it's just he's sitting there in his fucking whatever, his house. He doesn't even play on tour anymore, and he's just got that one victory over Tiger that Tiger never ever had a chance. I mean, Trevor Immelman, no, like,
is it maybe it's Y.E. Yang?
Is it Y.E. Yang? Is like, fuck.
Wow. He did like that. Also, you could argue
who's had the best career against Tiger Woods without him seeking his revenge.
The best career would probably be some weird name where like the stats add up differently than you would guess. But Y.E. Yang, that motherfucker, like that was late 2009. Yeah. Y.E. Yang defeats Tiger for the first time coming from behind in a major, and then look what happened to Mr. Woods over the next decade.
It's Y.E. Yang.
And where the fuck is Y.E. Yang right now?
Right. Like, when's the last time you've heard about Y.E. Yang? It was 2009.
Holy shit, dude! It's definitely Y.E. Yang. Was that the last major? No,
was
that the prior to everything happening.
A couple months before Thanksgiving that we don't talk about. So that was August 2009, and you know. 3 months later, a series of events began, or you could argue followed what happened when Y.E. Yang stole a piece of Mr. Woods' soul. I don't know.
Y.E. Yang needs to be dealt with. Imagine like something came out like Y.E. Yang retires and Tiger comes back and wins the Masters again this year. I'm telling you, there's something to it. Now, people may think, this is all fucking bullshit. Nothing about this guy is bullshit. It's all extraterrestrial. It's all magical. It's all wizardry. And until we figure this out, like I'm telling you, Y.E. Yang, mate, you guys are onto something. I'm on this. I'll send Detective Glenny Balls out there to find fucking Y.E. Yang, and we will figure this shit out.
Y.E. Yang is 49 years old. He's of course from South Korea. I don't know where he has last emerged in terms of professional golf. I was honestly going to guess that Y.E. Yang was on the Champions Tour, maybe averaging T17th and taking home like $70K a year, or a week, but I don't know. He's only 49, so he can't be on the Senior Tour. He just came. He annihilated Tiger Woods. He raised his fucking golf bag over his head like a power lifter on the 18th green at Hazeltine, and then he just was gone. What a bunch of bullshit.
Oh man, we almost have to put that to the clip of him doing it, man. I mean, it's just so.
The last line, so I'm on Y.E. Yang's Wikipedia right now, and the last line in his professional career area is after a poor 2016 European Tour season where he finished outside 110th, Yang regained his tour card through Q School, but that's just where it stops.
Can't let this guy get away with this.
No, he can't. We need him to make a tournament. He needs to be in some sort of match play or something that Tiger needs to defeat Y.E. Yang. He needs his revenge over him. And then all of these bad spirits, dude, this has been happening since 2009. Everything bad that's happened to Tiger lives within Y.E. Yang. He needs to defeat him. That's the guy. And Tiger, somehow this has to get back to Tiger. Someone on his team. In the next match, they should do like they should have Tiger versus Y.E. Yang. And he should just fucking beat him. And on 18, you may see this thing like release from Y.E. Yang. And Tiger's just fucking back.
You just
imagine made
me think of a very funny scenario where we finally get time with Tiger Woods, right? They're like, all right, you get an hour to interview Tiger Woods. And they're like, what are you going to ask him about? What's this? What's your interview? What are the questions going to be like? This is a big moment for you guys. And we just spend 55 minutes explaining Horcruxes and Y.E. Yang to Tiger Woods to the point where he's like, what the fuck is going on in this room right now? That'd be pretty.
We really found something here, though. I'm sorry, we really did. The 2009 stuff, like Riggs finding that out right there. That's big.
Or we just we bring Y.E. Yang out and he's in like handcuffs with like a sock in his mouth, and we're like, all right, Tiger. All right.
do what you please.
We just have to do this, man. We're trying to get over this situation here.
We're on to something though. We're on to something.
Oh, yeah, dude, it was something I was thinking about, and the fact that we actually came up with a perfect name that like completely makes sense for a guy that's never done anything on tour since he defeated Tiger Woods. Like everything about that scenario is so in line with what a Voldemort like surviving storyline would be in Harry Potter. It's unbelievable.
I mean, the guy didn't win a major for 10 years after that.
It's amazing.
10. He had won 14 in the previous, 8 years?
I'd love to know what Y.E. Yang was doing the day Tiger won the Masters. Like maybe he was like sick or something. We're going to get into it. I would like to interview Y.E. Yang. I don't know if there's going to be a language barrier or anything, but I would love to interview that guy and see what his life has been since he's defeated Tiger Woods. And like most notably is like the one guy who's ever done it the way he did it. I would love to know what the fuck that guy thinks about his life. And if he knows a piece of Tiger lives within him.
Well, I want what goes through his translator's brain while we're asking him questions is going to be real interesting to see what really gets back to Mr. Y.E. during that interview. Real quickly, engineered from highly technical 2.5 layer performance fabric, I need to talk to you about the Hyperlight Shield Half Zip from Peter Millar, which is a go-to piece offering full waterproof, seam sealed protection. I'm wearing a great little Peter Millar number right now, actually. This little camo deal. All their stuff's really, really good. The Hyperlight Shield Half Zip is one of those that I, again, highly, highly recommend. You can get it. It does have tour-tested fabric that's soft and fabric with two-way stretch and easy care benefits. A separate pouch allows it to be packed down tight and easily stash in a golf bag or carry-on, which goes a long way. But when you're trying to pack for a golf trip, you want to make sure you have everything for weather. Depending on where you're going, it can change any moment. Even if you come out to Scottsdale right now, it's like 40 in the morning, and then it's 75 in the middle of the day, and then it's 40 again at night. So you don't want to have to load up massive bags of clothing. You got to bring your golf bag in. It gets down there nice and tight. You can pack it nice and tight. Comes in both long sleeve and short sleeve version. It's so lightweight. It says this in the copy. It's so lightweight that Trent, Frankie, and Lurch can't complain that their gear is getting in the way or making them lose money on the course.
Wow.
That's
fucking lightweight.
Yeah.
It doesn't say you?
No, it just says that you guys are losing on the course.
Are you fucking kidding me?
I didn't write the copy either. I don't know what to tell you guys. All the Peter Millar gear. We love their EB66 5-pocket pants. We love their quarter zips. We love all their stuff. It's just really, really.
Their quarter zips are the best in the game. I'm trying to think of better ways to describe them so that you can go out and buy them as a listener. And they're just the best out there. And you know it. You've been inside pro shops. You see the prices on these things. You know that they're just the best. Like when they're more expensive, they're better. It's as simple as that. They have the better material, the better shape. They hold better around the collar. The whole thing. The zip is better. The fabric is better. I mean, it's just, what are you going to do? You're going to buy a fucking Toyota Corolla or you're going to buy a Lamborghini, right? If you have the money, just go out and get the better car.
Couldn't agree more. It's high quality stuff, and it's going to be worth it every time. We get messages all the time that say, hey, I finally bit the bullet. I finally said, you know what? These guys talk about this stuff so much. I'm going to buy a pair of the pants, or I'm going to buy the quarter zip. I'm going to buy a couple of the polos. And every single time the review is extremely positive, and everybody goes right back to the well, and they order more Peter Millar stuff because it's that good. You can go to petermillar.com/Fore. You can check out their website. We have a bunch of curated choices that we like on there. So do yourself a favor and gear up in Peter Millar stuff. Jordan Spieth finishes tied for 15th. Another good week. You know, he wasn't too far off. If he had a Tony Finau like Sunday, he could have easily won the tournament. So he was in contention. And I wouldn't say this is like a letdown week for someone that has been playing well, that had really good chances to win back-to-back weeks. He didn't come out and like miss the cut, and it wasn't some clear fluke. At a difficult golf course, Jordan Spieth again had a chance and finishes tied for 15th. He took home like $150K for doing that. Now that it's about money, but decent week for Spieth. I wouldn't say it's any reason for concern. Curious if you guys think any differently.
No reason for concern over here. I think that he's still on that track where he's playing good golf. I think people are starting to think that I'm like an anti-Spieth guy because of all the talk that we've been doing recently about him. But it's more that I think that he's in that Finau world where like at some point you just got to get it done. I mean, he even more so like needs to be a winner on this tour. He is a big name. He's a big money maker. He's a huge sponsor for Under Armour, this whole thing. Got to get it done. And the more opportunities that come around that he just doesn't get it done, the more that I'm just going to say like, man, time's slipping by with this guy, even though he's super young. And even though all his success was when he was outrageously young, how many more years are going to go by before this guy fucking wins? So I'm going to be on him for that. Like that's what his name carries, that weight where you're going to be on him for not winning. Sorry. Like you're one of the greats on tour. Like you have to fucking win. You're going to have people that say you have to do it. We have expectations for Jordan Spieth. I'm sorry that like his fan base thinks it's okay that he just doesn't win anymore. And he just like is not Jordan Spieth anymore. I want to see Jordan Spieth throwing fucking wedges out of bunkers and jumping with Greller and doing the whole, you know what I mean? Like I want the old Jordan Spieth back. I'm actually more of a fan than Jordan Spieth Legion. Like I want him to be Jordan Spieth. I'm not okay with incompetence and not fucking reaching the level that he has to reach.
I just think it's less pressing than that. And I understand the need or the want for him to be the old Jordan Spieth, for him to win again. But it feels like we're dealing with a wounded animal almost, where you just gotta nurse this baby bird back to health, where it's not gonna happen all at once, but we're on the right track. We've got the wing, stitched up. We're nursing it back to health. I don't think it needs to fly right now. I'm really taking this wounded animal metaphor to the limit, but I do think it is similar to that. Like it would have been great for him to win in Phoenix, or it would have been great for him to win at Pebble, or it would have been great for him to win at Riviera. But just to have him back in the mix, and that we're even talking about Spieth finishing in the top 5, the top 15, the top 20, like that's a good place to be. I think he'll get it done at some point over the next calendar year. I don't know if it's going to happen in the next month or two, but I do think it'll happen within the calendar year. So it's a bit of a slower burn, but I do understand wanting Jordan Spieth to be back to the old Jordan Spieth where he just wins tournaments all the time. I just don't think it's going to happen that quickly.
He's 27, so nurse his little chicken wing back to health. If he were, again, someone in his 40s who had been rudely, knocking off his pedestal by someone like Wyatt Yang, it might be a bit more pressing. But when he is 27, you do think that maybe the scar tissue isn't quite as deep. Maybe he's got another 20 years out there and that it's not quite as pressing. But boy, were those 2 chances he had really good ones, like really good ones. And for him not to get those done is, I mean, if we were going to do the whole thing we did about Tony Finau, about how like you just don't know how many chances, it is different with Spieth where he's won a bunch. He's got his 3 major championships. He's got double-digit wins on the PGA Tour. But, no, I don't think it's pressing. But also if he gets a couple more of those and doesn't get it done, then he turns into a monkey on the back situation like Tony Finau's dealing with, and it only gets harder and harder.
Just sucks. And I'm sure this adds to the pressure and his mental stability and stuff. But when he's winning 3 majors, double-digit on tour, you want him to be the next Tiger Woods. I want to grow up with a new guy. Come on, somebody just keep rattling off wins. I want a dominating figure on tour. I love the parody for what the theater and the drama brings, but I want to suck the dick of whoever's like winning 10, 11, 12 majors. I want that again. You know what I mean? Like I love that. I don't want someone necessarily to be like better than Tiger Woods forever, but Jordan Spieth was on that track to be like a next level winning every year guy. It just sucks. You want to bottle that up and bring it back. You never want it to go. I mean, we're just in that stretch where he's just like, he fell off.
It is tough. It's the same thing with Rory. Like we had 2014 Rory where it just looked like it's him now. He is taking that baton and he's going to sprint with it. Hasn't won a major since. And then we had 2015 Spieth where he emerged as like, this is the next guy. And then he fell off. He obviously won another major in 2017. It's tough. It really just proves how tough it is and how impressive Tiger's run of dominance was, that we've got these uber talented guys like Rory and Spieth. And then you had Brooks had his run there for a while where it's just not sustainable. It's just so hard to be that consistently good on the PGA Tour where these guys it's going to ebb and it's going to flow. And they're going to have great years and they're going to have down years. Spieth, we had 3 years where he was just gone and we didn't even really think about him. So that's a little different. I just think it's so hard no matter how talented you are, to sustain that type of greatness at the game of golf in general. Golf is so fucking hard.
And there's so many guys.
Yeah.
Like, how many guys were there even yesterday on yesterday's leaderboard looking at the names? That's without Justin Thomas or Rory McIlroy playing well last week, or Tiger Woods even being in the game, or Jordan Spieth didn't finish inside he finished tied for 15. It's like there are so many guys that are awesome at golf that if any one of them wins, I mean, Max was like 90 something, I feel like, in the world going into yesterday, and just wins. And when he won, it was like, oh yeah, of course he won. Like, look how good he is. He played great. Like, he couldn't miss a shot, didn't make a bogey for the last 26 holes that he played. So the fact that there's that many other guys, that there's Tommy Fleetwoods, that there's the Matt Wolfs, that there's the Colin Morikawas, that like weren't even in a conversation this weekend, I feel like. And now Jordan Spieth, who's fallen off a cliff by all relative measures, he's supposed to just go out there and beat all of those guys. Like, how is he going to do that?
Right.
So it's so hard.
It was really evident at Pebble when there were no top 10 players in the world in the tournament, right? So you're thinking, oh, this is an opportunity for Spieth to get that win after playing so well in Phoenix. But then the next tier just steps up. Cantlay, Homa, Berger. Like, you're right, Riggs. There's so many guys now that it's just really, really hard to have one guy take it and just run with it and win a bunch of tournaments. Not even in a row, just like at a high clip. So it's harder now than ever. So for Spieth, it's nice to see him back in contention. And I'm rooting for him to get a couple wins or just one win in the near future. But there's just so many guys that it's tough.
Dude, Daniel Berger, Patrick Cantlay, Webb Simpson, Bryson, like Patrick Reed, Victor Hovland, Daniel Berger again, reading his name again, but like he just fucking won. Paul Casey and how good he's played. Like Tommy Fleetwood, Adam Scott won. Like, there's just so many players that can win any given week that, like, Tony Finau and Jordan Spieth, they can't like get over the hurdle and win. Like, look how hard it is. How could you even fathom going out there? And to what Frankie first started the conversation talking about is like, Finau needed like Max to miss a 3-foot putt, and he got that. And he needed to shoot a 64, and he got that. And he needed Max to get a shitty break under a tree, and he got that. And like, he still couldn't win the tournament. It's just so difficult to win. And you wonder, like, how could somebody even win? Like, how could somebody go on a dominant streak and just win more than other people? It's impossible.
Dude, the further we get away from that 2019 Masters, the more impressive it gets. Just that Tiger was that old and that the field was that deep. And if you go back, look at that leaderboard, it was crazy. And I'm not saying that Tiger's done. I'm not saying that it's over. I'm just saying that for him at that age against this new crop of guys, that 2019 Masters, hopefully it was just the beginning of this, second half of winning these majors. But that 2019 Masters win is fucking impressive.
Yeah, and what happened to allow him to win that day was insane too, right? Guys falling off the edge of the cliff, fucking Molinari, all these guys choking at the end, making way for a Tiger Woods who was back to start the day to win the fucking Masters. Yeah, it's amazing what has to go into it. And similar, I mean, Tony had those types of breaks and you stated them. And the more we keep talking about it, the more it feels like Tony choked at the end. Like, just win a hole. Like, play better for one hole. Max was fucking flying off the handle. He missed a fucking putt on 18. He hit it under a tree. It's just like, win the hole, Tony. Like, what are you doing? But yeah, no, it's tough. On all accounts with Spieth and Tony and all this stuff, I understand it's super hard. We've gone through it. Like, when we're picking winners on tour before the season started, like, we're like saying, like, who do you think's going to win a tournament? It's like, it's actually really difficult to win a tournament. Like, the odds are they don't, each guy. Odds are each guy on tour does not win a tournament that year. Like, the odds are in the favor that they do not. So when you put it that way, it is really, really hard to be like, why didn't you win the last 4 years? Like, well, the odds are I probably shouldn't have. There's so many fucking players at each tournament. Why are the odds say that I'm going to fucking win today? You know what I mean? So yeah, I see it both ways. I just want them to win. It's more I want them to. I want Jordan Spieth to be back.
Damn. I couldn't agree more. Same. It's just better. And like, if he wins, he's going to have confidence. Then he's going to, it's a domino. It works out where he's then like in the mix in majors more, and he's in Ryder Cups, and it's all just better. So that's the main reason we're rooting. Little piece of news this morning is the USGA and R&A announced proposed changes to their amateur rules that would, I believe by late March, they would sort of officialize them. And then by January 1st, 2022 is when they would go into effect. It basically makes being an amateur, you may benefit off of your endorsements, your likeness, your image. And there's now only 3 ways that you would actually lose your amateur status. One of them is accepting a prize in excess of the prize limit, which is $750. That's not really any change. Accepting payment for giving instruction, which none of us have to worry about, and accepting employment as a golf club professional or membership of an association of professional golfers, which again, none of us have to worry about. All the tweets that I'm seeing are like, oh, does this mean that the Whitney match is on? Well, the Whitney match, no, because this doesn't change anything. Like we were going to play for more than $750 and Whitney couldn't and still play in the USGA 4 ball. And that was the reason that he chose not to play in the match. So I don't know that that'll change anything, but who knows?
So, okay. Yeah. Even if it was a sponsor, it's still limited to $750.
I believe you can't accept like a cash or prize worth more than $750. Now,
Gotcha.
It does say that informal gambling is allowed. So if it's like so I don't know. We'll have to reach out and see. But also it's like, people have to understand, like I don't know that I trust Whitney because we had the whole thing set up. And then we had the whole incident on radio with our good, close personal friends at the United States Golf Association, where we were misled as to what happened. And that it came off like Whitney, like the USGA had largely just reached out to Whitney to be like, no, you can't do this match. When in reality, it was the other way around, where Whitney had like his swing coach or whoever check with the USGA to see if they would allow it. And then they were like, well, now that you've checked with us, like, no, you actually can't do this thing. That put us down a whole spiral of going off on the USGA. I think we called them nerds on the radio and said, why would they butt their heads in something they don't have any business in? When in reality, that wasn't what happened at all. So that whole incident. And then also like I've reached out to Whitney about playing a few times and different things, and he just hasn't responded, which I don't blame him. I don't think he needs us or needs to really respond. But in terms of people that constantly tweet or Instagram at me about like, why won't you play this peasant? I've asked him to play a bunch of times, either myself or Fore play. We would love to have a match with those guys. I love the Chiclets guys. I mean, we're not a hockey podcast, but we love it. So we would love to do something, but in terms of the current state and if the amateur status affects things, I don't really know. And we can't really know unless I guess we have a conversation with the Chiclets guys.
Yeah, it seems like a confusing situation, which obviously seems to happen in boardrooms or whatever. This is not something that's going to happen over text messages. This has like, if he really wants to keep his amateur status, like people need to get brought in and like talk about what can be done with the match and stuff. So yeah, I see that part. I love Ryan Whitney. I own his merchandise. I bought his Quebec League Invitational, whatever the fuck that shirt is, the South Shore King shirt. I think he's one of the funniest dudes on the planet. I love Biz. Biz actually had mentioned that they want to do like a kind of a home and home where we do a sandbag or they do a 4-man scramble. It would be super fun. I think we'll get that done at some point. I think Whitney and Riggs do have a little bit of like a rivalry riff going on. And I think that's good for whatever future matches come out. Like, I mean, you guys went at it on radio about this thing, and that just adds to the drama and the theatrics. I love that shit. I think it's going to be super intense the day we ever step up to the first tee, like real intense between you two. And then it's just like me and Biz and Trent and like, just like behind you guys being like, all right, let's let these two guys fucking kill each other.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a lot of fun. And I actually think it has to happen now. The more we talk about it, like there's just no way we can let this go to the wayside. Like just has to happen. Like Whitney either has to like just nut up and just figure it out, or like something has, like, we just need to play golf.
Yeah, I think that from a golf perspective with me and Whit, there's like genuine beef where it's like
like genuine beef.
Like neither one of us, like both of us would be fucking devastated to lose on camera to the other one.
Correct.
Yes.
Devastated.
So right. So that exists. Having said that, like I'm with Frankie. Like I love it. I think they're fucking hilarious. And like as a hockey guy, like how could you not be into what the Chiclets guys are doing? They're awesome. I've like referenced some of their interviews with fucking Crosby and with McKinnon. But at the end of the day, like Whitney and I, when it comes to golf, have a rooted history in not liking each other. So yeah, I would love to play against them, but I can't. If we reach out to them and ask, and he just doesn't respond, there's nothing else I can do.
Right.
True.
Yeah. No, we're gonna get this going today. We're gonna get this going. We're gonna figure this out. This has to happen.
All my
Text messages have
mentions,
to be put out.
my mentions are 100% Whitney versus Riggs right now with the amateur announcement.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah. No, this has to happen. This has to happen.
Before I don't know where we're headed next, but I did want to say Joaquin Niemann got himself in the situation that we talked about all last week on 6th at Riviera. The pin was on the right. He ended up on the left, and he did end up chipping it. He actually ended up off the green. It did not work out well for him. And he's a pro, so it's a little different than me doing it or Lurch doing it.
He nipped it clean, though.
What?
He nipped it clean, though.
He nipped it real clean. It ended up going off the front of the green. But that's what I was rooting all weekend for someone to get in that scenario. And a couple of guys got close, but it would roll back and feed to the point where they had an actual angle at it. But Joaquin Niemann, he fucked himself and he had to chip and it didn't work out. But you guys do it.
I missed that.
Yeah,
I'm rattled. I missed that. I want to see it.
I'll see if I can find the clip and I'll send it to you.
Okay, I want to see it.
Barstool Sportsbook 2 weeks in a row now has put out a booster of a parlay prop bet. Well, first week wasn't a parlay, but this week it was Max Homa and Jordan Spieth to finish top 30 at Riviera. Both of them.
It was plus 400.
Yeah, boosted to plus 400. We are now 2-0 in the last 2 weeks with Jordan Spieth bets. That is something to keep an eye out for, because I mean, if you got in at plus 350 last week, plus 400 this week on the Barstool Sportsbook, that is, I mean, you are cashing in some good cash right there if you're in Michigan or Pennsylvania. So keep an eye out for the Barstool Sportsbook prop bets because they are on fire right now. I mean, we were joking like, oh, Max Homa needs to finish top 30. He won the fucking tournament. Like you were tweeting at him like, oh, we added some more pressure on you by putting this prop bet. He replied to you like, oh, you fucking, that's so.
Yeah, he said this is like next level evil genius, like bravo. And then he won the tournament. He won the fucking people are responding too, like, wish I could take the other side of this bet, huh? And like Max Homa won the golf tournament.
And Spieth finished what, like 14th?
Yeah, I think he was tied 15th. So it's like it wasn't even fucking close. Like we weren't that far off from Spieth and Homa going to a playoff. Like it was that he won the tournament. So those are the two easiest bets. And the week before, I think it was just Spieth to finish top 10 was plus 350 or plus 325. And the guy almost won the golf tournament. So it's just been two easy plus 350 and plus 400 back-to-back weeks. People got to be swimming in money at the center of the show.
Swimming, yeah. And eyes need to be locked on the next one because it's just really good value. And obviously, like, these things can happen at this point.
Also, we've got Matt Wolf tonight on the Fore Play YouTube channel. It's the One Club Challenge with Matt Wolf. So get involved. Go 8 p.m. Eastern. And I mean, you know it at this point.
What did he use? He used a pitching wedge?
I think he went pitching wedge, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he went pitching wedge. So I mean, we told him. So at that time, we had already done it with Matthew Wolf that day before we had filmed it with him. So we kind of like told, like, I'm sorry, not Matthew Wolf. Tommy Fleetwood. We had done it with Tommy Fleetwood, and basically we're talking to Matthew Wolf, like, oh, what are you going to use now? I think at one point he wanted to use like a 5-iron or a 7-iron. We're like, well, no, like you need to do something a little more difficult. He's like, all right, I'll beat you with a fucking wedge. And he was really into it. He was really, really into it. Tonight's video is going to be awesome.
It's good. It's in Wolf. I mean, you saw in the last one, his personality, he's chill, he's hanging, he's, what's up, G, and he's just likes to hang out and compete. So it's a very good video tonight at 8 p.m. on YouTube. And names. You got to come up with some names of people who, if they're listening to this show right now, must watch. I'm going to say Jordan. If your name is Jordan, which we've been a lot of Jordan Spieth talk in the last couple months, and you probably thought you're out there skirting. You probably thought, no way they're going to talk Jordan, and then bring up Jordan again at the end of the show. Well, guess what? If your name's Jordan, stop skating, stop sliding, stop thinking that you're going to get by. Subscribe to our YouTube page.
All right. So the last couple of weeks or the last couple of episodes, I've been doing somewhat obscure names. The last one I did was Easton. And I actually had 3 or 4 Eastons reach out to me and be like, I got sucker punched by this because I thought in no way was I ever going to get called out to subscribe on this podcast. But the point of this is to get as many subscribers as we can. And if I keep doing Eastons and the other names that I've done, we're going to get obscure people to subscribe to our YouTube, but we're not going to get as many. So today I'm going to go, more down the middle, and I'm going to say Jacob. I don't know if we've done Jacob yet. I don't think that we have, but if your name is Jacob, or if your friends call you Jake, that's probably more common. You have to subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'm no longer, at least not today, I'm not going to do an obscure name so we only get a couple subscribers. I want all the Jacobs and all the Jakes listening to this podcast. Subscribe right now. Let's get those numbers up. You're going to love it anyway. We have so many more videos coming out. We're going to shoot a bunch more things. We got 4-man scrambles coming up. It's the best YouTube page on the internet. Jake, Jacob, you're listening to me right now. Go subscribe.
Very biblical of you. I feel like, aside from Easton, you've picked the most biblical names so far. We could go back and check, but I remember each time you've picked a name, it's been very biblical. I want to. I don't know what that means, but
I read the Bible every single night, so that might be why.
I think you do.
That checks out for sure.
And yeah, every video that we've put out and produced recently, I think for the last month or two, has put over like 125, 130,000 views. Every single one, once a week. And with only 100,000 subscribers, it's getting crazy. Like the videos are starting to catch on. They're really popping off, as the kids say. So you got to get involved. Everyone's involved except for you, Nate, Nathaniel, whatever you go by. When you went to college, you had all these aspirations and dreams. You went for a certain fucking major and you skated through college, and you're sitting there in your office right now, and so many other things could have went better for you in your life. You're just working for some fucking asshole that just doesn't appreciate what you're doing. You go home, your wife hates you, but you guys stay together for the kids and the whole thing. But at the end of the day, you can do some good today, right? Like you can finally get on that horse. You can get in your car. You can go fucking maybe pay it forward at a Starbucks. You maybe walk an old lady across the street, or you can subscribe to the Foreplay YouTube Golf Podcast. Foreplay Podcast on YouTube. It's a golf podcast that you're listening to right now. And we also have videos. We have a bunch of series against pros. We play video games on there live. We have our interviews on there when we have guests and all this stuff. And Nate, it's time to really do something in this world. You got Butters Bay merch. That's what Trent's showing on the YouTube that you can see right now, probably if you're watching the video. But Nate, it's just time for you to like become a man. Like if you're not at that stage with the kids yet, maybe like you're gonna get to that stage, and you can change that now. Your life is at a fork. You can either go right or left. It's at a crossroads. And choose the right road here. It starts today, Nate. It starts today.
Jake, Nate, and Jordan, you've been called out. Subscribe to the Foreplay Golf Podcast on YouTube. Watch the video tonight with Matt Wolf, One Club Challenge, and then we will be back on Thursday. We've got a few different guests, so get excited. That's all I got. Hit it hard.
Hit it hard.
And last week when I did Alex, I got so many messages being like, dude, I'm sitting down right now. And what you said about how my parents are disappointed in the job I took, he's like, this one dude, Alex, was like, I just had a legitimate like screaming match with my parents like 2 days ago, right before this podcast. He's like, I listened to this fucking thing. I called them up and apologized. Like, I was like, Jesus. He's like, man, like you have no idea what that did to me. Cause he's like, I'm listening to the podcast. I just heard like my story. And he's like, obviously I have to take advantage of like, all right, that means something. So I have to call my mom. And
Riggs and I are like, hey, do you like golf videos? Maybe you'll like this YouTube page. Frankie's like, you're a failure at everything. Turn your life.
You gotta fucking catch these people one way or another. You gotta hit them where it hurts, and that's gonna make people change. Hey, people need to learn from their mistakes. And Alex made a mistake, and he heard this podcast, and he righted his wrong.
There you go.
Same with Nate. Hit it hard.
Hit it hard.
Hit it hard.